Ever been so angry you could feel your heart pounding in your throat? That was me, standing in my driveway at 2:45 a.m., staring at my truck, realizing some lowlife had just stolen my catalytic converter. But what they didn't know was that I wasn't just going to get even, I was going to make sure they regretted it for the rest of their lives. And it all ended with me watching their car get torn apart like a soda can. If you've ever wished you could deliver instant karma to someone who wronged you, hit that like button right now, because the story isn't just satisfying, it's downright cathartic. And if you're new here, subscribe for more tales of sweet revenge every week. It was a brutally early Monday morning. The world was quiet, still half asleep, that I climbed into my truck, coffee in hand, ready for work. But when I turned the key, my heart sank. Instead of the usual steady rumble, my truck roared, loud enough to wake the whole neighborhood. It sounded like a monster, and I knew exactly what that meant. Someone had stolen my catalytic converter. You know that sinking feeling when you realize someone just violated your space, your property, and got away with it while you were sleeping? Yeah. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles went white that I wasn't just angry. I felt violated and powerless. But I also knew someone was going to pay. By mid-morning, my neighbor texted me, "Hey, check this out." Turns out their security camera caught everything. Two kids, barely out of high school, rolling up in a beat-up old police Crown Vic. They worked fast too, hopped out, sawed the cat off, and drove away like nothing happened. That I knew those kids. Everyone did. They were the type of local menaces you see hanging around the same corner store every day, blasting cheap bass from their trunk. No job, no plates, no respect. And they weren't just annoying, they were dangerous. But here's the thing, calling the cops felt too easy, too impersonal. That I didn't want them just arrested, that I wanted them to suffer. That's when I called my buddy who works code enforcement. "Hey man," I said, barely keeping my voice calm. "I think I just figured out how to make those kids pay." My friend didn't even hesitate. "You give me a heads up when you're ready, and I'll let the cops know you're good to tow that car." See, these geniuses drove a Crown Vic that was barely even a car at this point. No plates, no insurance, no taillights. The thing rattled like a shopping cart and hadn't been registered since 2011. It was an accident waiting to happen. And technically, it wasn't even legally theirs. So I waited. A few days later, I spotted their car parked on a quiet side street, unattended. Perfect, that I called it in. "Hey, I found it." I told my buddy, he gave me the green light, and I hooked that car up and took it straight to the police station. The cops ran the VIN, and sure enough, it was a legal nightmare. The registered owner wasn't them, the title was missing, and the back fees were through the roof. "You can go ahead and take it to the junkyard," the officer told me. "They'll hold it until we get a black title, certificate of destruction." And just like that, it was no longer their car. Meanwhile, these kids were running all over town looking for their car. Word got back to me that they thought one of their friends had stolen it as a joke. But the best part, when they finally found it at the junkyard, they tried to steal it back. That I wasn't there for this part. And honestly, I'm still kicking myself. But apparently one distracted the owner while the other tried to drive it off the lot. Except the junkyard guys were ready. They had already cut the drive shaft to make sure it wasn't going anywhere. The police showed up before the kids could even finish their little stunt, and they got arrested for attempted theft. And then came the grand finale. The junkyard rolled out the crane, hooked that Crown Vic up, and absolutely crushed it into a twisted pile of scrap metal. When I came by later to see the remains, it didn't even look like a car anymore, just a mangled frame, torn apart like a toddler had gone at it with giant toy hands. That I swear I've never smiled so hard in my life. The kids eventually got out of jail, but they haven't been the same since. They stay holed up in their trailer now. That I drove by recently and noticed a Jeep Liberty sitting there with no plates. And I can tell you this much. The second I see that thing out on a public road, it's going straight to the impound lot. Only this time I'm bringing popcorn. Watching that car get torn apart was like therapy. Every twist of metal, every crunch. It was like the universe was saying, "This is what you get for messing with the wrong guy." You know, some people say revenge doesn't solve anything. But standing there, seeing justice play out right in front of me, I realized sometimes karma just needs a little help. If that story gave you chills, smash that like button right now. And tell me in the comments, What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Don't forget to subscribe, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss what I do when I catch their next car out on the road.